Elon Musk's $1 million submarine car, Justin Bieber's custom Rolls-Royce that looks like it's floating, and George Clooney's $400,000 tiny car, and so much more. These are the weirdest supercars that celebrities own, starting with Kanye West's Sharp ATV, an absolute beast that he acquired for his music video Follow God. This is probably the best off-road vehicle out there. I mean, it better be with that look. Doesn't matter if we're talking ice, deep water, literal boulders, or fallen trees. This thing will drive through everything. Just look at this lady's face. She's definitely enjoying herself.
Just when you thought it couldn't get cooler.
It's probably not Kanye's fastest vehicle, with a max speed of 45 miles per hour on land and 6 miles per hour on water, but I think it's better if we keep it that way. For around $120,000, it's surprisingly cheap, so if you're as rich as Kanye West, you might want to consider buying 3 of them too. Rowan Atkinson, also known as Mr. Bean, has a mighty car collection. He has a Rolls-Royce, a Bentley, an Aston Martin race car, which he crashed, and a 1 of 64 McLaren F1 that he bought for $750,000, and he also crashed that car twice, but he ended up selling it for $11 million. So it wasn't a bad investment. The more interesting car that he owns, however, is the BMW 328 Roadster, a legendary vintage sports car that was only produced between 1936 and 1940. It has a lightweight aluminum body and can reach a top speed of 93 miles per hour. There are only 464 units, and in 2011, Rowan decided to take out this baby and participate in the Mille Miglia, a vintage car rally in Italy. The Roadster already won the race in 1938, 1940, and 2004, and it was now Rowan's time to shine. He only ended up placing in the top 100, but at least he didn't crash the car this time. If we're already on the topic of eccentric cars, what about Flo Rida and its Bugatti Veyron? The car in itself is worth around $2 million, but the plain white hue that he started off with just became too boring for him. So he went for chrome, and then he went for gold. Now that is flashy. I'm pretty sure that thing is worth more than my life.
Yo, Flo, do you drink Florida orange juice, man?
Metallica's lead vocalist James Hetfield is also a big fan of cars.
I am obsessed with cars.
And he likes to customize them. Look at this custom-built black Pearl, for example. In collaboration with designer Rick Dorr, they took the 1948 Jaguar MK4 and made it an automatic beast with 375 horsepower. This thing can actually drive. You would think that kind of car would belong to somebody like their Pope, a man of honor and taste. Surprisingly, he actually owned a $200,000 Hurricane Lamborghini for a short amount of time. He got it as a gift by the president of Lamborghini himself. But our boy Pope Francis has been known to follow his own warnings and values, which includes staying humble and focusing on the soul instead of cars. So he decided to just sign the Hurricane and give it away to charity. He does, however, ride in a neat Renault 4 that was also a gift. His predecessor drove a Mercedes M-Class, however. Jay Leno is probably the car guy. He has over 180 cars, ranging from antique relics to luxury cars to this, the EcoJet.
As president of the More Money Than Brains Club, I just like to do interesting automotive things.
A car that he himself designed with the help of General Motors. It took 2.5 years, but this thing is powered with an actual jet engine while running on eco-friendly biofuels. And it doesn't only look fast, but it actually is.
Show me what you got.
The environmentally friendly jet car thing can reach speeds of over 200 miles per hour with a mind-blowing horsepower of 650. And yes, it does sound like a plane. And can apparently beat one as well. I don't even want to know how much he spent on this thing. Justin Bieber has been a connoisseur of cars ever since he turned 16, with his first ride being a Range Rover. His car journey is very unique, for sure. He went through Batmobiles, Leopard Audi R8s.
Somebody's got way
way too much money.
way too shiny Fisker karmas, and a couple of arrests for speeding.
DUI, alcohol or drugs, resisting without violence, and driving with an expired driver's license.
But the biggest monstrosity is actually his custom Rolls-Royce Wraith. This $300,000 unique piece of art was turned into an optical illusion. 3 whole years of labor, thousands of hours of work for this reaction right here.
What? Oh my goodness. What?
Yeah, that's definitely an authentic reaction for sure. At least he drove it around a couple of times and didn't just let it rot in some random garage. But in hindsight, keeping that thing in the garage might have been a better call. What about Deadmau5 though, and his Ferrari 458 Spider, a beautiful car, one of the best Ferraris ever produced. It goes from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.3 seconds, 562 horsepower, and a beautiful design. Well, Deadmau5 decided to customize it by wrapping it in yen cats. You know, that one meme that was all over the internet more than a decade ago? But that just wasn't enough for him. He added custom formats and changed all of the logos to this. He officially named this car the Purari, and then Ferrari sent him a cease and desist letter for changing the logo of their sacred brand. So he had to undo the whole process. I mean, the design wasn't that bad, right? Okay, it was. He then did the same thing with a Lamborghini Huracan, or should I say a Lamborghini Huracan? Luckily, he put both of the cars on sale and now drives Uber. Chris Breezy probably owns one of the most badass vehicles out there.
What's karma jar today? Bye guys!
He owns a Rasvani tank. This thing is fully bulletproof.
Look at that from the inside.
It has sirens and strobe lights. It can also discharge a literal smoke cloud, you know, just in case one of his ex-girlfriends decides to come for revenge. This car is literally equipped with everything.
We are standing in front of Chris Brown's Rasvani tank. This car came to us for a good reason. The bumper fell off.
Except that apparently, for $300,000, a bumper that falls off is kinda crazy. But it has 1,000 horsepower at least. If the inevitable apocalypse comes, Chris Brown is safe for sure. George Clooney, however, it does look good for him. He owns this thing, the Tango T600, one of the smallest yet practical cars in the world. Now you might wonder why it's actually so small.
I used to drive a Porsche from Beverly Hills to Hermosa Beach every day, and the traffic was horrendous. So I thought everybody wants to get from point A to point B efficiently.
This electric mini car was created because traffic is so bad, and George Clooney apparently really resonated with that problem. Its top speed is 150 miles per hour, and it has 800 horsepower. Imagine this thing just flying past you. It's literally faster than a Tesla. And parking has never been easier either. I mean, you can park however you want. It does cost half a minute to produce though, so it wasn't really a commercial success. In 1989, a couple from Long Island spent around $100 on an unclaimed storage unit. At first, they didn't expect a lot. They did, however, find a vintage car. To be more accurate, a Lotus Esprit S1. Pretty good find. Only produced between 1976 and 1978. It has a unique shake to it, but this is where things get crazy. This car wasn't just some vintage car. They just bought one of the most iconic vehicles in cinematic history. They accidentally stumbled upon the original Lotus Esprit that was used in the James Bond movie The Spy Who Loved Me. In the movie, this Lotus has a few features, like swimming underwater or straight up shooting rockets. Now, while it can't do that in real life, the model that was actually used for the underwater scenes is still insanely cool. And so in 2013, the couple put it up for auction.
Really intrigued to see what it's going to go for, 200,000 or £1 million or somewhere in between. Nobody knows. Nobody's got a clue who's going to buy this car.
$1 million later, Elon Musk is now the owner of the actual prop car. He also said that he will try to make it as functional as possible. We might all be driving in submarine cars soon. Elvis Presley bought a Messerschmitt K200, a German 3-wheeled mini car that looks like something a kid would drive around in. Equipped with a total of 9.9 horsepower, it was designed to cater to the rising fuel prices after World War II.
Maneuverable, good for nipping in and out of traffic and easy to park, The scooter costs less than a penny a mile to run.
He, however, bought it as a joke, since he had enough money to afford fuel and shoot at his cars. I wish I was joking. He owned the car for around a year before trading it in for a shopping spree at Bernard Lansky's store.
I had a German-made Messerschmitt, a little car, and there's a guy there in town that has been wanting that Messerschmitt for the last year. And so he owns a clothing store, one of the top clothing stores in Memphis. So I went up there the other day and I told him, I said, you've been wanting that car so bad. I said, I'll make a deal with you. I said, you let me pick out all the clothes in here that I want, you can have the car. So I was up there for about 2 hours and a half, and the store was a wreck when I left.
Ralph Lauren, the founder of Ralph Lauren, has the most expensive car collection in America. He owns everything from the ultra-rare Lamborghini Reventon to the usual LaFerraris and McLaren F1s. But two of his cars are just different. The 1930 Mercedes-Benz SSK, worth around $40 million. This car has been in his collection since the 1980s. It is rumored that there are less than 40 of these roaming this earth, but Lauren's rarest car is his 1938 Bugatti Type 67. It is regarded by most car enjoyers as one of the most beautiful things ever made, period. Only 4 of them were ever produced, and he owns one of them. Shaquille O'Neal is a Goliath who can't fit in most cars.
How do you drive? Look at that.
I gotta go, man. Bye. I'll talk to you later.
So he either drives around in an extended Vanderhall Venice Roadster, a thing that is technically a 3-wheeled motorcycle, since it technically doesn't have any airbags, or meet any automotive safety standards. It also has no roof. Or he drives around in a car that actually fits with scythes, like his armored Apocalypse super truck. Yeah, if you don't fit in that, I don't think you should be driving around in a car. will.i.am is a fan of custom cars.
Bring the action.
He owns a custom Tesla that looks like it's from the year
2045.
and a custom DeLorean. You know, the car that already is a time machine? His DeLorean looks like it went through a modern rebrand. His most expensive vehicle, however, is a 1958 Volkswagen Beetle that he completely pimped out. It cost him $900,000 and 2 years of labor, and here's why he chose to do it.
I wanted to be Superman and create a tangible means of an education to where a kid is gonna wanna be a scientist when they're making or part of making things like that car.
Honestly, that seems pretty wholesome, but he could have bought like 6 Lamborghinis with that thing, so you wouldn't catch me driving in that car. In 2013, LeBron James collaborated with Nike to release the LeBron 11 King's Pride sneakers, a very bold piece of shoe. To match the floral pattern this shoe has, Mike decided to step it up a notch by gifting LeBron a Lamborghini Aventador with the same unique pattern. Yeah, why not give a multimillionaire a car? Arnold Schwarzenegger enlisted into the Austrian army the moment he turned 18 and became a certified tank driver. 2 years later, he won Mr. Universe, then went on to become a bodybuilding legend, was the highest paid actor in history, and governor of California. A couple of decades later, he missed the time with a tank, so he bought back the exact same one he had during his military time.
This was the very tank that I actually drove in the Austrian army, and I became a tank driver. And then years and years later, decades later, I said to myself, well, now they don't need it anymore. It's a patent tank. So I asked the Austrian army if I can have it back. And the Austrian army sent me the tank. I had to pay $20,000.
Only you can get a tank.
And he now crushes things with it. He also does it to raise money for people in need. I guess even the Terminator has a sweet side. Post Malone owns the 6x6 Velocity Raptor, created by Hennessy Performance, a 6-wheeled monster truck that is based on the Ford F-150 Raptor. His Raptor comes with a 50 caliber machine gun mount, for hunting of course, and has 600 horsepower for the cold, dark winters. It also has some cute designs for him. This thing cost him more than 350 grand, and it's safe to say it does fit his character build.
I'm the happiest boy in the world.
Dream Machines was a reality TV series where 2 brothers built the most wild cars, or how would they describe it?
We build things that are a lot more bizarre than what normal people are used to seeing.
And they got pretty bizarre for sure. John Cena was one of their guests on the show once. and he got to design his own dream car. His goal? A car that looks like it came from the year 3000. And the two brothers definitely delivered. They took the V8 engine of the Chevrolet Corvette race car and basically built a spaceship around it. It's called the Incinerator. The cool thing, this is actually a road car.
We're gonna need 2 new tires and a clean pair of shorts.
It can actually drive and isn't just a futuristic concept. Oh yeah, and it also has flamethrowers in the back. That's pretty badass. But it has no doors and opens like this. Definitely not the best everyday driver. Lil Wayne is one of the founding fathers in the hip-hop scene. His career spans decades, and he's built the type of wealth most Wall Street guys would drool over. With an estimated net worth of 170 million, he can pretty much buy any supercar he wants.
You know, business.
His normal car collection is already mighty impressive. He spent
1.8 million of my hard-earned money to buy this motherfucking car I had heard about called the Bugatti. I got it because I said, man, I heard they got a fucking car that's $1 million. I want it.
Yep, that's the Bugatti Veyron that he literally just bought because it cost $1 million. I mean, if you can, why not, right? His friend and longtime partner, Mick Main, also gifted him a McLaren 720S Spider that is worth around $400,000. Birdman, another OG rapper, also just gave him a Rolls Royce. So what would you give somebody who already has everything? Nicki Minaj gave him a T-Rex for his 30th birthday. A 2-seat, 3-wheeled car hybrid. They cost $70,000. It looks interesting. He seemed pretty stoked about it though.